Wendell Sportswear, the leader's brand, providing excellence to our customers around the world. Thank you for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name is Franck Ebang. We are talking today on Omaha One Community, a series of conversations with immigrants, game changers, and people with stories that matter. It is important for us to have this conversation, especially as the world as a whole is facing what they like to call migrant crisis. But we're not going to call that today. What we're talking about is a conversation about people that have stories that matter, that can change lives. And with you, of course, knowing what's going on, see what you can do to help make this a smoother journey for the immigrants here in the community. Kwazampia Media Group is the support that is bringing this program to you. This is a media group that was created by a group of immigrants residing here in the United States with the vision to become a leading advocate in issues affecting people, livelihood in their communities by educating them, supporting them, and empowering them with resources to actually make the changes they need in their communities. This is what we do. This is Omaha One Community. Once again, my name is Franck Ebang. I have a series of guests here today that I will introduce individually, and we will hear a little bit what they have to say about their journeys as immigrants here in the United States. And I will start here with Chef Djimil. Chef Djimil, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Thank you. Chef Djimil, you are a chef. You're originally from Togo.
Yes.
Would you please tell a little bit of something, a little bit of hello, welcome to your people listening to you today?
Well, you know, Ndina Milo, Babun Kaza, that's like pretty much 3 languages from Togo, you know, so glad to be here.
Thank you so much, Chef Djimil. And I do have Maria-Elena Castro. You are from Peru, right?
Yes.
Okay, would you please say something or welcome a hello to your communities here today?
Buenos días, muchas gracias por tenerme aquí.
Muchas gracias también. And I'm going to turn here to Mr. Paul Ajuoga. Paul Ajuoga, where are you from originally?
From Kenyan, East Africa.
Excellent. Sir, would you please say a little hello, welcome to our guests here
Habari
today?
zenyu wananchi means, or how are you?
Excellent. Thank you so much, sir. And I will turn to Mr. Mirwais Shinwari. Did I say it right, sir?
That's fine, Mirwais Shinwari.
Excellent. Would you please say a little hello, welcome to the people watching you today?
Assalamu alaikum. Khair aghlay. Khosh amadid.
Excellent. Thank you so much once again to our guests and viewers tuning here. This is Omaha One Community. I would like to thank especially our sponsor, the Wendell Sportswear, and others here that are watching us, helping make this event possible. Many thanks to all of our sponsors. Again, Mr. Wendell Sportswear, thank you so much for making this event a possibility. It's a conversation that is well needed. Without further ado, my first question, Chef Djimil.
Yes.
We know that from the beginning of humanities, people have traveled the world, immigrating for various reasons, looking for opportunities, looking for better living conditions for themselves and their families. What would you tell our viewers today has been your experience as an immigrant trying to fully integrate the community here in Nebraska?
Well, I would say that overall it's been a great opportunity, great experience as far as integrating here in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, especially the Midwest. I think we as immigrants, we found the Midwest, we found some value, that are common value that we share, you know, that we brought up upon. So it's natural that we come here, it feels like home, right? And we've been through a lot of struggle. There's things that are not easy for us, you know, adjustment when you adjust right here. As far as education-wise, you know, when you get here to even find yourself, to navigate the requirements you need to be able to settle, you know, with your family. And now, I've seen it both sides. I've been in the business world, you know, where I've been a student here, and I studied Bellevue College, and also working in corporate before I became a chef. And also I've seen it also more importantly now on the food side, what I like to call culinary side, where us as an immigrant in general, our culinary heritage is not very known, right? And there's a change. There's a change right now, you know, and then there's a growing change in the global village that I call the world now, where people kind of want to know more about immigrant, and then people want to be more diverse. But still, my focus right now is more about people knowing about our food.
Right. And
that's where, just like any other challenges, you know, it's unknown. So how can we make sure that people know us through our culture?
Yes.
You know, but overall, I would say that despite all the hurdles, despite all the difficulties, it's been good being in Omaha for all those years.
That is good to hear. Thank you so much, Chef Djimil. And I will turn here to Maria-Elena. Maria-Elena, I really like your name. It's a beautiful name, by the way. Let me ask you this. From my understanding, at least what I grasped from Chef Djimil's story, the journey of migration has not always been an easy journey at all. So what has been your experience as an immigrant here to the United States? And more specifically, how has that impacted your ability to integrate the community you are in?
Well, as an immigrant, a Latino immigrant, we all have the same problem, the language,
Right.
first of all. And after that, you need to fight, trying to find a school or something, a place to learn the language. When I came to Nebraska, to Omaha, I found here that there is a big Latino community. So I discovered that many people have the necessity to work because there are Latino families are big.
Yes.
So there are many children, a lot of children in the family. I think we all pass for the same. If my family is big, if I have brothers or sisters, I can take care of their children. So
Right.
that's why now I'm working in an organization, a profit organization, who try to help many women to start a business at home, taking care of their kids without neglecting them.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Maria-Elena. And I'll turn here to Mr. Mirwais Shinwari. Sir, what would you tell, or what can you tell our viewers that your experience as an immigrant has been personally, but more specifically about some of the, I would say, the stories in your communities or the people that you know? How has this journey affected or impacted their ability to integrate the Nebraskan community?
Thank you, sir, for having me here. First of all, the life in the United States and in third world countries is totally different.
Yes.
And it's really hard for the people to integrate in this environment right away. But there are some things step by step which have more priority than the others that make this journey easy for the people to integrate in this society.
Yes.
And the most important is the language. Language barrier is a big problem for the people here.
Yes.
Here in Omaha, for example, we there are some nonprofit organizations. They're just running a few English is a second language programs for the immigrants, but those are not enough for the people. So if you want to integrate the people in this society and this culture, the first step will be to provide them with the easy, accessible English resources. So they can learn, and then they can find jobs, they can participate in other activities like social or economic, any kind of situation. So the language is the first thing. And we're all as a new person, you're gonna face a lot of problems. It's not easy to fix or get anything in a short time, because it takes a long time that you get yourself, or you get job, or you get paperwork or anything you need here.
Yes.
But still, there are some things that is a whole immigrant community here, like from different countries, or especially my community. There are certain things that need to be addressed, so that can make easy the life for our community. And also, in the meantime, they can be, so every person of the community can become let me see. What I mean is,
You mean like a leader?
Like you can become like a,
An example?
for example, if can become like a active person of the society,
Yes.
so they can work in different fields.
Yes.
So for those things, we need some different programs and for the community. And also in the meantime, we have some other crises too right now. I have some new immigrants. They are living with their relatives here. They don't have any proper housing. They don't have any proper access to education.
Yes.
They can't afford to feed their families because
We will definitely touch on that
Okay.
question
Okay.
right there. So I thank you so much, sir, for sharing that with our viewers. And I will go to Mr. Paul Ajuoga. Sir, you are originally from Kenya, and clearly you are a leader within the Kenyan community, which is a community that is significantly growing here in Nebraska, if not in the United States. So what would you tell our viewers about your experience as an immigrant coming here to the United States, and specifically, how has this impacted your ability to integrate the community in Nebraska, more specifically?
I came here from Kenya in order to get education here.
Yes, sir.
So I came and I got my education in psychology. I found out that the immigrants have problems not only with the language, culture, and to adjust. So my psychological education helped me to understand and to want to help our people who come from here. So my main specialization is trauma and culture. I am a psychotherapist or by training. So I'm trying to work with the refugees and with the immigrants who have come here to United States, which is a different culture from wherever they come from. So I help them to understand themselves and to understand how they can adjust to this culture so they can be a contributing member of the society and learn and benefit from them. So my role as a psychotherapist is to work with the refugees with mental issues, especially trauma. When they come here, they have been traumatized in one way or another, and they don't know what to do. How we deal with our trauma back from our cultures are different from how they deal with trauma or mental issue per se in America. So my job as an immigrant who is educated here is to help other immigrants and refugees to come to America. Thank God for America, because their open door policy,
Yes.
you can't find it anywhere else.
Yes, indeed.
But there is a problem. We are not coming here for a picnic. We are coming here with loads of psychological or mental problems. And sometimes if that is not taken care of, one person's mental problem can be a community problem.
Excellent. Sir, I really like that note, and I'll come back to that. Ladies and gentlemen, to our viewers, again, this is Omaha One Community. Once again, my name is Franck Ebang, and this is an opportunity to thank our sponsor, Wendell Sportswear, that has made this event possible. I would like to quote Nigerian author, one of my favorite, Chimamanda Adichie. She said, stories matter. In fact, all stories do matter. And that's the reason why we're having this conversation, so we can listen to these stories that do matter and hopefully touch somebody's heart. Chef Djimil, let me turn back to you. Of course, I've listened to each one of you stories, and one thing that keep coming out is, of course, the issue with access to resources. I do understand that across the United States, and specifically here in Nebraska, we have a plethora of resources available, from healthcare, housing, employment, and why not education. What would you say within your specific field of activity and some of the facts that you know in your community has been your experiences with accessing this or having access to those resources, and how do you think those resources are helping the integration of immigrants from Togo?
Well, Frank, thank you for asking that question, and I appreciate that. And I'm glad that we're coming back to this, because earlier when I asked me the question as far as integration, I kind of said the overall, impression that I have, which was great. Like I said, Midwest is great for immigrants. But I think I left out the difficulties that we actually go through to get there. my experience is different because I came here, went to Bellevue. Most people that I also know came here and went to school. Going to school and getting a degree makes your experience a little different than somebody that doesn't go to that path, right? So the language barrier is there, but it's easy for you when you go into school to overcome that, because that's the whole point of doing that. But the research you're talking about is really what it boils down to. As an immigrant, when you come here, whether you're going to school or whether you're not going to school, whether you came here as a refugee, it's where do I start? How do I go about? What's the first step? What's the first thing that I have to do? If you live with somebody, maybe they might show you something, but maybe that's if they know it. So thank God that now we have a lot of organizations that are doing some things to help people. The resources are available, just as much as people are not aware of it.
Yes.
Right? So we cannot say now that there's no resources, right? And there's never going to be enough resources to be able to satisfy everybody's need. But the most important thing is where to find it, how to find it.
Exactly.
So I think that's where the problem lies.
Exactly.
As an immigrant, when you come around here, we ought to be able to say that you can go to this X organization and they will help you with this. You can go to this organization that can help you with this if you have this kind of issue. That's what this network is doing is important. Story like this, having this information, having this round table to talk about this is very important, because we didn't have that when we came here as an immigrant. Now I can turn to this network, contact network, and then learn something. So I think the key thing that we need to do now for the new immigrants that are coming and are going to be coming in this country is to be able to point them out in a direction. Whether it's a plethora of step-by-step thing. If you need mental health, where you want to go. If you need something that are related to food, if you need something related to professional. Because we don't know still, like I will tell you that the majority of people that came in that I know from Togo, when we went to Bellevue, all we thought was about, let's get a law degree, business degree, accounting degree, all that. But how about being a mechanic? How about being something else?
Right.
So we need to be able to have people that can have, proper counseling and proper resources, or at least go direction.
Excellent.
That's what's needed.
Chef Djimil, thank you so much. I very much appreciate it, and I think that I can concede to you on that it's very important to not only have resources, but actually know how to point out to those resources.
Exactly.
On that note, Maria-Elena, you are representing not only yourself, but also the community of Peruvians here in Nebraska. What would you say has been your experience with accessing those resources to help your community and yourself?
My community is big, not too big than others, but we found information from different organizations who can help us.
Yes.
But when I think at this point in this 2022, we have more organizations who help people in Spanish. But what about 2 years ago, 3 years ago? So this is just starting. So there is not a lot of organizations who can help us. So we as an immigrant have the same problem trying to find a organization or any schools to help us with the language.
Yes.
And another, because this is the language is the first barrier. If you don't have the language, you cannot have access to college or university. So I think we need more information about that in our languages. Yes. So in this case, we can receive that help and help us to grow. Yes. And elevate the level of the people, the preparation of it.
Maria-Elena, thank you so much. And Mr. Mirwais, let's come back to that, because I know your community has been quite on the spotlight in the late days with the resettlement opportunities and initiatives being initiated by the U.S. government and some leaders here, and of course individuals willing to help within the United States. What would you say has been your experience with access to resources that you did point out were lacking or somehow needed in the community to make it a smoother integration?
Yeah, like right now, the Afghan community is one of the fast-growing community here in Omaha,
Right.
And still the people are keep coming. We don't know to what level we're going to reach here in the future. But currently, as other communities, we are also facing a lot of problems here.
Right.
For example, like as I said before, that the first thing, we don't have any, like the new immigrants, they don't have any access to the English, to learn the English language. As I said before, that there were some organizations, they were offering like English as a second language, just like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 organizations in the whole Omaha area. And then the other problem is that most people, especially the new people, when they come here, they can't get a license right away to have a transportation, or they have an English problem. You know, if there is an English problem, you can't get a license easily, or in the future you can become a U.S. citizen very easily. So that's also like a big obstacle. So the important thing will be to first have the access to the basic education, like the English language for the new immigrants. Okay, and in the neighborhoods where you have the majority of people, they are living over there. There are also like middle schools and high schools. If some English classes are arranged for these people over there in those schools, for these new people, or I mean the immigrants, so this will be very helpful for them.
Yes.
Once they have a little English, they can get a licenses, they can get a training for the new jobs, for those things. And the second thing is that like there are some other problems too with the health. For example, here, most of the new immigrants, they are getting like a Medicaid from the government, right?
Yes.
But a lot of services are not covered by the Medicaid. And so they also need some community health centers too, where they can go and get a treatment, or if somebody doesn't have like a proper insurance, so they can get a health care over there. Because unfortunately, when some people going to the like big hospitals over there to the emergency rooms and those, they have a huge bills sending back to their homes, and they're new people, they can't afford those things. The other thing is that in the United States, in big cities where we have our big communities from Afghanistan, maybe I don't know the other, my friends, they will have examples from their own communities too. Like in California, the first biggest community from Afghanistan we have in California. So over there, like pretty much like the Iranian community there,
Yeah.
and some of our Afghan community there. So one of our official language is similar to Iranian or Persian language. So they have over there, the government have their programs for the new immigrants or for the immigrants. When they have a testing for the citizenship, that's in our own language.
Okay, right.
The training is in our own language, and the citizenship questions or the civic questions are in our own language. So if such things happened on every level, for example, for Afghan community, for community from Togo, community from Peru or Spanish community, that they can make it easy a little bit, the immigration. I know the immigration is a federal thing, it's not state or local. That doesn't belong to the local government or the state government, but they might still request some resources from the federal government to make those things easy for the community,
Yes.
So this will be much, much helpful for the community.
That's a very important point, sir.
Yeah.
Without cutting you on that, I know those are conversations that we really want to take the time to talk about. Time is of essence of now, I'm being reminded. But definitely that's a very interesting aspect of what needs to be done, in fact, to ease the integration of Afghan communities as well as other communities here. But very quickly to you, Mr. Paul Ajuoga, I know you did mention in your field of activities, psychology, mental health, which is very important. I know a lot of initiatives have been put out there, deployed to help to try to assist people with mental issues or mental questions. What would you say here in your practice in Nebraska has been your issues or challenges with accessing resources to help you do your work? Very quickly.
The resources are there, but we lack people who can work with the refugees or immigrants to direct them to where these resources are.
Right.
When we come to America, for example, mental health, counseling is a Western philosophy of mental health. Where we come from, we don't have counseling, we don't have therapy, we don't have anything. We deal with our mental problems within the family, within the communities. If the families cannot deal with it, then the elders and so forth. So when you come from America, you are away from home, this is not your country, you need to find someone that can direct you to get what you need. Okay. Here, we have got some agencies that will welcome them and keep them for 90 days. After 90 days, they let them go. These people don't have language, they don't have the skills, sometimes they don't know where they live, sometimes they don't know where their children go to school. And these people have been traumatized right from home.
Right.
So there is a disconnect between the community and the public schools and the parents. So I have found out with my practice that trauma interferes with learning. Kids don't learn well because they have been traumatized and that was not addressed. So when they become adults, there we get the problems. Instead of dealing with it when we can, we let it go till we can't deal with it anymore. Right. So my field deals with culture. My field deals with the trauma. Now we are dealing with we are teaming with Heartland Integration Center to help these people who want to speak language, who want to be citizen, or who want to, so that we can direct them and teach them how they can get to these things.
Excellent.
Now we have got a refugee from Afghanistan.
Excellent.
I'm not from there, but I am learning Pashto and Farsi from this my friend here.
And that's what we need.
So that we can help them.
That's exactly what we need. Yes. Mr. Paul Ajuoga, I really want to thank you, sir. I know we can spend the whole day talking about such passionate topic and these stories. They do matter to me, and I'm sure it matter to our viewers as well. I'm being just reminded that time is of essence. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank our sponsors, Mr. Wenduk Sportswear, for making this event possible. I also would like to take the time to thank the Wise Family Foundation that have allowed for this event to happen with the CEC team as well. Thank you so much for what you do to make the Omaha One Community event a possibility. Once again, my name is Franck Ebang, and I'm sure we will carry on with these conversations as time allows. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Wenduk Sportswear, the leader's brand, providing excellence to our customers around the world. Thank you for your support.